Hello guys, just going to do a quick audio test before we start the stream. Hello guys, welcome to Berlin Tegel Airport. This is, well, they're actually closing on the 8th of November, is planned for the brand new Berlin airport that's been long awaited, like 15 years ago. I think it was failing, it kept failing in like inspections and things, fire inspections I think the issue was, I can't remember, but whatever it is, finally it's looking like we've got to say bye to Echo Delta Delta Tango Berlin Tegel Airport. So, well, I thought we may as well, since it's Fly UK's featured airport for the month, may as well jump from here over to Manchester on board a flight today. Very nice little route. Flight's from about an hour and 40 minutes today. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get inside the cockpit of the wonderful PMDG 737. And I think we should, well, start setting up really. So, well, actually, we have also got we've got Berlin Approach online first thing, so that's really good. Going to tune them. They're covering both Berlin airports today. 119625. So we'll just go ahead and tune that 11962, and then we'll pre-tune Unicorn.
Variable 2 knots, runway 08 right, clear for takeoff.
And then I'll grab my notepad, and we'll get ready for that. First of all, we're going to go to position in it, EDDT, and we're at stand 10. Yep. And going from EDDT to EGCC. Flight number today is Skyways 845. Great. Skyways 845. And we're just going to leave it like that for now. Right, FS actions. First thing, we want to go ahead and turn on the ground power and get rid of the APU. For some reason, that's just how this particular startup state on the 737 works. But it's unfortunately it's a choice between this one and the long turnaround state, and I prefer the short turnaround state. I'm positive I activated ground power there. Right, before I forget then, let's go ahead and turn on the yaw damper, because it turns off the yaw damper when you lose power. Great, okay. Well, I think we may as well, actually, let's get everyone loaded on board first. Let's get everything working and boarding before we worry about anything else. Looks like the config set up because we're in kilos, that's great. And let's go ahead and get our loads punched in. So we have 135 packs on board today. 135. Well, I guess 0 in first class, right?
And 127, you're identified, climb level 160, and when
we're
passing
looking for
5,000
cargo.
feet.
That's a 0, that's not all entered in. 53.9. 53.9.
Flight level 160 and pass at 5,000 feet, direct rocket.
Is our 0 fuel weight. So enter that in there, okay? And that's got us all the correct weights. 135 people, remember, I won't go off what it says there. And then fuel, finally, we're taking 7321 on the fuel. So put that in there, none in the centre tank, make sure those are off then, great.
Lufthansa 2262, you're leaving my airspace, no further ATC.
And we'll head back onto the doors page, that can just sit there now.
Great flight.
And we'll get request boarding. 135 passengers.
Zwischen Unicorn, Lufthansa 2262, hoch die Hände, Wochenende.
Right, and just check everything up there is working. Everything's looking good. We're on ground power. Jetway's activated.
Same for you. Unicorn 122.8.
Great. Right, let's grab the 80s quickly. We have text status, information echo, and stand 10. ILS approach 08 left, 08 left and 08 right in use. Departure expect 08 right. So yeah, we're departing 08 right today. Transition level, so we're using 5,000, it's 6,000 if you're arriving. Short distance between runways, stop between, okay, that's fine. Departure frequency is current. Okay, great. QNH is 1019er, so we'll get that set now.
Hello. Thank you.
Austrian Airline 27 von 2262, bist du nicht dieser YouTuber?
I think everyone's just finished boarding on GSX. I need to tweet this. Everything is completing way too quickly. I'm positive they've already finished. Yeah, that's why. Time, look at that. Boarding, look. 100 passengers, 20 seconds. That's what's going on. One per passenger, that's the standard amount.
Wer soll bitte ein YouTuber sein?
Die Austrian Airline 27, die du hattest.
But we still have to wait for the cargo to complete, so it's not like we've just got
Negativ, was
quickly.
27.
Berlin approach, Skyways 845, information echo, stand 10 at Tegel, request IFR to Manchester please.
Skyways 845, Bremen radar, good morning. Information echo is correct, your startup is approved, you cleared to Manchester. Via the Brane 3 Victor departure flight plan route. Climb 5,000 feet and squawk 2005.
Cleared on the Brane 3 November departure, initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 2005, Skyways 845.
Skyways 845, the departure route is Brane 3 Victor, out of runway 08 right.
Brane 3 Victor 08 right, Skyways 845.
845, read back correct. Let me know when you're ready for push.
Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead. So squawk is 2005.
Radar, guten Morgen, Alpine 61 Yankee Kilo, stand Alpha 6 at Brandenburg, request clearance to Vienna.
I think I just read back 3 Victor departure, obviously that's wrong. Because of it's what I write down.
61 Yankee
Right,
Kilo,
08 right, Brane 3
Victor.
Victor.
Your startup approved, QNH Schönefeld 1018, runway 07
From Brane,
left. It will
we're going to be going Y.
You cleared to
Right, I'm on the wrong
Vienna via the
page.
Tuvok
It's like I'm
50
flying an
departure
Airbus.
flight plan route.
Route. There
Climb
you go, that's
4,000
better.
feet and
I'm
squawk
being
1,000.
right, Y200 and to
Dann
HLZ.
2 Wochen sind sie noch. Cleared Vienna, Tuvok 5 Sierra,
And
07
L980.
4,000 initially, squawk 1,000, QNH 178,
RKN.
Alpine 61 Yankee Kilo.
And then L602 to Spy. It's going to be direct to Ravlo. And it's going to be Y70 to Upbed. Execute that. Great, that's in there. It's a bit of a annoying arrival here in Manchester. Over in Manchester, unfortunately, but we're going to be sort of landing, so we're going to be approaching over the north of the UK, over Bradford and all that, and then we're going to basically do a little loop, almost like a holding pattern. It's just part of the star, unfortunately, and then we're going to end up at Rosen, I think. No, the second Rosen. So after something like that, we're going to end up at, yeah, it is Rosen. We're going to pass, yeah, we're going to end up at Rosen. After a little loop, and then from there we're going to proceed direct to the ILS. We could also go to the Manchester VOR and then do a loop around, but this route's already long enough as it is, so I think I'm happy enough just taking the direct to the ILS, to be honest. In real life you get vectors at Manchester really, but that isn't an option for us today, so it's going to be ILS 05 left. I've just looked on flight radar and they're using 5 left at the moment down there, and it's going to be the Rosen 1 Foxtrot, and no transition. I don't want anything today. It's already a long enough approach as it is, to be honest, so we'll see what happens with that. Alright, and then in ref, we're going to do just reserves 2 in this plane normally. Still fuel weight there, 53.8, that's perfect. Cost index is 26 today. Wow, they've already finished boarding. Yeah, I need to change the times on that, don't I?
Alpine 61 Yankee Kilo.
Also
clear.
because I'm used to flying the 777 at the moment, which
Go
takes
ahead.
forever to load.
Yeah, once you're ready for taxi, let me know which intersection you would like for departure.
Transfer altitude 5,000.
We're cool, but
Initial,
go for
it would technically be flight level
Hotel.
280, but I'm just going to set 380 as my cruise altitude, to be honest, and then just if we get a cruise instruction, I'll just put that in. Now, cruise winds, I don't know whether they're going to be slightly wrong because of how we are. No, they look alright. 037, 022. I was wondering if they would be wrong because of how we're at two different cruise altitudes. Although the 280 cruise altitude is like basically non-existent. There's no significant weather to be looking at today, so we're absolutely fine on that front. Alright, okay, I think. So look, we're meant to be reaching flight level 280 by there, look, at the Hotel Lima Zulu. So to be honest, I think we'll be alright. If I just put in a restriction, so /280 at Gugzu and /280 at HLZ, and then after that we can then climb, we should be alright. So it's not really limiting us that much, and then you can see there will be straight back up to cruise then after that. I think we should be alright. Right, N1 limit, we're going to do a D rate of 1 today and a climb D rate of 1 as well. Take off D rate, no, take off flaps, we're going to do flaps 5, and trim is 4.3, okay. Well, we're already about that actually, it's already on 1, 2, 3, 4, that's about 3, about 0.3, great, and 143 in there. Flight directors left side, right side, auto throttle, RNAV, VNAV, initial climb at 5,000 feet. Heading, runway heading out of here is 079er. Great, and that's about it, I think. I think we're all ready to go. Oh yes, cruise altitude, 38,000. Just get on there. Make sure the packs are off for engine start. Elect gens on, fuel pumps on, make sure the nav lights are turned on, yeah, that's the position lights in this aircraft, I believe, and propeats. I don't know, you can do those after engine start as well, I just prefer to do them before, because why not, and we're ready to push and start. Skyways 845, stand 10, ready for push and start.
Approved facing north.
Push and start approved, face north, Skyways 845.
Hello Captain, we are ready for
Just realised I totally forgot to turn on the APU. I was going to do it after I was faffing around with the
27, you are leaving my
the things
airspace,
there,
no further
and
ATC at the moment.
Rip.
Top main control is online though. I think he will let you know where. when
Also,
you need to
it's
contact
maximum
him.
260 knots per there,
Looking here.
so I can just put in 250 and it'll be okay.
Ja, danke schön.
I'll just keep an eye on that, yeah, because it wants to do 260 knots below 10,000. It's not an ADS restriction, it's a max restriction, so we're alright. Right, so we want to go on to the ground connection. Actually, I want to shut all the doors. We're going to be facing north, so that's going to be pushed back to the right. And we want to basically close the door and we're going to retract the jetway. And then once the APU is fired up, which it isn't just yet, it's almost fired up, look.
61 Yankee Kilo, requesting push and start.
Come on, there we go, it's fired up now. So we can get rid of the ground power, get rid of the wheel chocks,
Torture check completed. IFAS being
and we're good to go.
Release parking brake. Commencing push.
And 660 miles, that's looking alright. Traffic, weather, and let's start the engines. Let's go into engine mode, wherever that is. It's somewhere here, there it is. There. And packs are off, yep. So that we'll just let that rise now. So that's slowly rising now. These engines start slowly. Everything's turned on as it should be and the packs are off, so I shouldn't have anything to worry about there. They are starting tremendously slowly. These engines. Right, the packs are turned off though, aren't they? Yeah, the packs are off. So they should be starting just fine. And I've got fuel. They're in engine ground mode, yeah? Yeah. Right.
Expect parking brake.
What have I done?
Waiting your confirmation for good
Oh!
engine
I flicked the
start.
packs onto high, not off. I flicked them the wrong way. Oh dear, that's a bit of a noob, isn't it? Right, okay. That's why they weren't starting. And I knew something was wrong. Right. And we'll tell GSX that we're good for engines because it's, you know, it has no impact. So there you go, look at that. Engine 1 is starting a lot quicker. I knew something was wrong there. Well, there you go, we're alright then. Engine on and TCAS on as well. It's a very short taxi down to 08 right from where we're parked at the moment. Right, and I think we can just go back off the engine page now, and there you go, engine 2 has started, so into continuous mode. Anti-collision light can go on now, taxi light can go on as well.
Tow truck disconnected. Light has been released.
And, right, flap, so config and recall flight controls, yeah, it's working fine. Flaps, 1, 2, 5. Yep. Stabilizer trim we set. Take off briefing. Yeah. 08 right. Cabin. It's good. Got the seatbelt signs on. Start switches are completed. And into
Left is clear.
continuous.
Right is clear.
Transponders on. Landing strobe lights and retract will be done later. We can get the packs onto auto now, since the engines are now started. And we are ready to go. We'll go on to engine power now. APU can come off. Check the recall. Nothing's coming back. Great. Okay, right, ready for taxi. Skyways 845, ready for taxi.
845 taxi, holding point runway 08 right, via Papa Whiskey, Sierra Mike and Romeo Whiskey.
Taxi runway 08 right via Papa Whiskey, Sierra Mike, Romeo Whiskey. Skyways 845. Alright, so Romeo Whiskey is the holding point, Papa Whiskey is the one that we're currently on. And Sierra Mike is the one in between, so pretty nice straightforward departure here. Just make sure we're on weather and turbulence mode. There we go, on the weather radar, and away we go. So should be alright. Now we should be good. So get on our way. So, and then we'll just check the rip. Minimise that then by accident. Weather here right now, it's broken at 500 feet. That does not look like that. And QNH 1018. No. Oh, that weather's from an hour ago. I think something's gone bugged with Active Sky. Weather's 1019. Then Manchester, also it's overcast at 2300 feet, so not so low. Right, on to Sierra Mike. This is very short taxi. This actually, it's just all the way down here now until Romeo Whiskey, and then from there, that's it then, we're taking off. So yeah, quite a short taxi. That's Romeo Whiskey there. So on go, I'll take off lights, off go to taxi lights, because it's such a short taxi, we're basically ready to go already. Everything's all set and ready to go. Yeah, but literally just taking the next right now, and that is it. We're off. And then after departure, it's going to be a left turn, a left bank.
Skyways 845, wind variable 2 knots, runway 08 right, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 08 right, cleared for takeoff, Skyways 845. Now normally we'd have to obviously contact approach, we're already on approach right now. After approach there's not going to be any more ATC, so, you know, most of what we've got it, I guess. There's a number of Eurocontrols online, but none of the ones that we want. We want Eurocontrol Maastricht, and they're not online right now, so nothing. Because Eurocontrol West is online, but they don't cover Germany. They're the one that cover France, Spain, Portugal. Right, line up on 08 right, nothing's approaching, been cleared to take off. So, away we go. I'm not going to use the Toga switch because it disables RNAV and VNAV in this VNAV and LNAV in this plane for some reason, and then you can't use it until 400 feet. I mean, you have no. You have to like enable them then after takeoff, which I don't like. And the real life plane doesn't have a Toga switch, so that's kind of why it does it. But anyway, 40%. Start the clock and takeoff power is set. Doing a D rate of 1 today. Airspeed's live. And there's the outside view. 80 knots. I'm glad we only set a V1. I'm glad we only set a D rate at 1. It's going to take quite a while to get off actually. There we go. It's like a 9,000 foot runway as well. We're not even that heavy. There we go. We're in the air then. Positive rate, gear up. And away we climb. Just make sure we're following that pink line there. On the climb out. Great. There's the lovely buildings of Berlin as we climb out. Not best looking, but you know, they're all right.
With 845 you're identified, climb flight level 160, and when passing 5,000 feet, proceed direct to Hotel Lima Zulu.
Climb flight level 160, when passing 5,000, direct Hotel Lima Zulu, Skyways 845. Great, we've been given a very good direct, and that also clears us straight up to flight level 350 later on. Not now, obviously, but later on, I mean. Right, up we go then. Flaps 1. And we'll lock the gear. Off go the runway turn-offs as well. And flaps up. Yeah, that's definitely not as cloudy as the weather forecast said, is it? Right, disarm the auto brakes. And we'll check the checklist. Air conditioning and crash, we did that before. Start switches off. Landing gear is up and locked. Auto brake off. Flaps up. Altimeter we will set at 5,000. Okay. And when passing 5,000, we want to go direct to Hotel Lima Zulu. So we'll get that ready in there. Right, there's almost 5,000, standard pressure, and that means that when we get to 5,000 we'll know exactly what altitude it is. And execute. And we're going to delete the altitude restriction at Hotel Lima Zulu. And there we go, we've been given a little bit of a shortcut there.
6 knots, 07 left, you cleared for takeoff.
A little bit of a mini shortcut.
Cleared for takeoff, 07 left, Alpine 61 Yankee Kilo.
Why not, I guess. We need all the shortcuts we can get on this route, because it's a bit of a dumb route. There we go, in the air. Up we climb away from Berlin. We've been cleared to flight level 160 at the moment. However, you know, by the time we reach 10,000, I think we'll be out of this controller's airspace by about 10,000, 15,000. So. And then after that, we have no more ATC. There's currently nothing down in Manchester. It's very empty in Manchester, actually. We're the only plane heading for Manchester, which is quite rare. Normally Manchester actually has ATC about this time of the morning. It starts to get busy down there. Manchester's quite popular, because it's not like a massive, massive airport, but it's also not small. It's still got 2 runways, it's still got like 2 terminals. It's a fair size, but it's not like Gatwick or Heathrow. So it's quite a nice airport to control at, I think. That's why it often does get quite a few controllers, but there you go. Right, up to 40 nautical mile range now. Actually, we used to go 80, there's no waypoints. And 10,000 feet. Off go the landing lights. And yeah, it's nice to get that direct then. We'll go direct again, just to make sure we're on the correct path. There we go.
620 kilo identified, climb level 160, and when passing 5,000 feet, direct. And stop, portrait Delta Oscar.
Climb level 160, when passing 5,000 feet, direct, and stop, 620 kilo.
And there we go, just climbing up to our sort of climb speed now, I guess. A lot slower than the 777, and well, since we're basically chilled out, we're heading a straight line now. We can just turn off the seatbelt signs, which I think we are just heading in a straight line. We're fully sped up now, so we can just chill out. Pretty amazing, really. That quickly, done all that quickly. And then, yeah, we'll be exiting their airspace fairly soon, I think. And then we'll be able to climb up a little bit further then. We'll be ignoring the flight level 280 thing now, because there's no need for that, since we've been allowed to skip the airway that the altitude restriction was on. And then we'll set the heading round as well.
845, you're leaving my airspace, no further ATC. Monitor Unicom, 122.8, have a safe trip and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Unicom 122.8, go rate 845, bye. Right, over to Unicom, maximum altitude now, which is 380 I believe today. Yeah, 380, we're cruising quite high actually. What's our maximum cruising altitude today? It's actually 410, just thinking a lot higher than I thought. But there you go, 380 then, and over to Unicom 122.8. And that's it now, I think. I don't think we're going to have any more ATC. Probably not anyway. We'll have to wait and see, but it's quite unlikely. As we climb away from Berlin. There we go. And that's probably one of the last times I'll flying out of Berlin Tegel now. To make way for the brand new airport. What's the new one called? I actually don't really remember what it's called, the new one. I know it's kind of quite silly. I'm going to search it up now. But I actually can't remember what it's called. Oh, there you go, Brandenburg. That's what the new one's called, Brandenburg. And they are opening, planned, 31st of October, which is why Tegel is shutting on the 8th of November, so it's looking like finally after 15 plus years, I think it is. I'll have a look now, but I'm pretty sure it's 15 plus years since they were supposed to be opening. Yeah, there you go. Oh, never mind, it hasn't been quite that long then. The opening day was 2011, 30th of October, so it's 9 years late on the dot. 9 years. That's pretty bad, to be honest. And also, I don't think it's replaced. The plan was initially for it to replace Schönefeld, I think, not Tegel, but that's the one they're placing now, I guess. Yeah, so 9 years late, that's pretty bad, to be honest, isn't it? That's quite late. 9 years. And they started building it 14 years ago. So yeah, it's not awesome, is it? But there you go. Anyway. Up to flight level 380 now. Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be a pretty annoying landing, really, in Manchester. What with the star that we're doing. I said, in real life, you'd probably be given vectors at Manchester, but unless an approach controller comes online, we won't be getting that. So we'll just live with it. Manchester currently the winds are 350 at 4 knots. QNH down there 1024 right now. 8 degrees, so not the warmest down there, is it? Really. But I was checking flight radar earlier, and they were using... It would be a slight benefit for us if they used 2-3, but to be honest, it wouldn't really matter. I'm checking Manchester now, and I can check now. There's not much going on at Manchester right now. The last plane to land... Oh, there was a plane 9 minutes ago, actually. And it used... Yep, they're using 5 left for landings and departures, I think, today. They just, I mean, you know, it kind of makes sense that they just do single run. I think they do single runway ops most of the time at Manchester anyway. But yeah. So yeah, 5 left is going to be down in Manchester, I think, quite easily, we can say that. 600 miles to go. We'll have a look at our arrival properly once we're at cruise, which will take time to get to. Now, let's have a little look outside. I need to take some screenshots as well, because I keep forgetting to take thumbnails for this game. Like, I'm still using thumbnails from the new Flight Sim for videos on the old Flight Sim. And that reminds me, actually, I haven't read the development blog from this week of the Flight Sim. Obviously, the new patch came out this week as well for the new Flight Sim. Not that they fixed an awful lot, to be honest. I think it was just a few autopilot issues, none of which really notable, and a few missing airports I think they fixed as well. So there hasn't really been a lot. Patch 1.9.5, so that's patch number 4. I'll read it out now. So the VFR map shouldn't crash the game, and a few crashes that are happening, and things like that have been fixed. But the nav data as well in the game, so the nav data has been refreshed. To be honest, yeah, not a lot really. A few fixes to do with the Japan scenery. That's about it really. So they haven't really fixed a lot. It's just basically a few UI, a few crash issues basically and things. Quite minor. And then they got the development update from this Thursday night, so going into Friday for me. And they're doing alright, so let's have a look at they got their feedback snapshot, obviously. They've got a few issues that still need doing then. However, a lot of main issues aren't looking like they're going to even be fixed at the moment. A few of them are coming in at update 5, but update 9 is also looking like it's going to be quite a big one. So they're not really looking at doing a lot there. In terms of wishes, not really a lot going on there either. Metric units though, looking like they're going to come in update 5, so that's nice. I like that. And the ability to disable cockpit tooltips also in the update 5. So update 5 might have some pretty decent stuff in it, to be honest. Still waiting for the fly-by-wire 8020 Neo mod is now on version 0.4. So they've fixed a few things. Still no VNAV mode. I'm waiting for the VNAV before I really start flying it. But that's good to see. Anything else? No, not really. So that's that, I guess. Not a massive development update, just something little, really. Right, we should have a contrail now. We do, right? Looking down at the scenery, it looks like Spain down there. Like the sort of colour. It looks very desert-like almost. I don't really know why. I know it's autumn. The game does have textures for different seasons, but I'm a little bit confused about that. Right, 40 miles to top of climb. I mean, I don't know how long we'll be at top of climb, but I suspect quite a while. However, down in Manchester, we've got quite a few little mini restrictions, so they're descent planning, they're not restrictions, if you like, so we'll see what happens. So we'll have a look at what the aircraft has got plugged in to see what's going on. So yeah, at Oddbed they want us to be flight level 290, flight level 170 at Goals, and then 70 at Rosen. So we'll see what happens, but that's what it's saying on there. But that's only planning. So that's what we're going to do for descent planning. So we'll do that now. So /290 at Oddbed, and 170 at Goals. And then 7,000 at Bolton. And transition altitude, transition levels done by ATC. I'm gonna get it in now. So approach is gonna be ILS. Get the taxi charts up as well. Let's have a little look. So transition altitude 5,000, so 6,000 could be our transition level, roughly. And then we go. That's everything all planned out. Then we'll have a little look at our arrival now. Make sure it matches up with what's going on. I know we've got this bit of silly sort of looping going on. So we head through, just pretty nice standard routing, and then we arrive there. There's the descent look, and then all normal. And then this is where it gets a bit odd. So we sort of come in, do a little loop around, and then Rosen, and then ILS, and it's a bit of a sharp turn onto the ILS. But otherwise, we have to go to the Manchester VOR and then go swirling around the place, which I don't fancy doing, because that adds a stupid amount of miles on, so I don't really fancy that. Especially considering there's, in real life you get vectors. Obviously, it's one of those procedures where really you would need ATC to do this procedure efficiently, but obviously, what with there being no ATC, I can check Vatsim UK's website, but often controllers don't book on, I've noticed, so it's kind of not really telling you anything. Because so frequently controllers just don't log on. They don't register their interest in booking ATC, so there might not be anything registered. So let's have a look here. Actually, yes. So all the times are in Zulu. So I think times are in Zulu, and Gatwick mentoring is going to be going on. No, not so. Manchester Tower is going to be on from 10 Zulu until 11 Zulu. So we might actually, I think we're just going to miss that. But there is a mentoring session going on at Manchester as well, apparently. They got a mentoring session from 9 Zulu to 10:30 Zulu. Don't know what position that's going to be. It doesn't say what position it is, but there is going to be a mentoring session going on there from 9 until 10:30. So it's looking like we are going to get some ATC. They're going to be coming online in half an hour, so we'll get to see what position they're doing. But it's looking like we are going to have some ATC down in Manchester, hopefully. Right, we're coming up to our cruise altitude now, flight level 380. We're taking our time to get there. This thing's a very slow climber at this kind of stage of the flight, I guess. Don't really know why. Also, Echo Delta Golf Centre is online. That is Langen radar covering. I don't think we go over their airspace, unfortunately. That's covering Frankfurt. No, we don't go over their airspace. Oh well. We head over Dusseldorf's VOR. No, Dusseldorf's airspace, and they don't cover them. Oh well. I thought when I saw that we might have been in luck, but nope. Because they don't show up on VATSpy, so I have no way of checking them. But no, they're not covering us, unfortunately. Never mind. And there's flight level 380, so we can now chill out at quite a high altitude. Won't need to plug in any of our arrival stuff for a bit. We're probably going to be descending quite early because of all the descent restrictions over in Manchester. We're descending in 366 miles, so 538 minus 366. Yeah, that's quite early. We're descending 170 miles out, so it's only about 30 miles off where we normally would be. So we're going to be descending about 50 minutes. So we've got a bit of time now to chill out at cruise. So that's good. And yeah, just cruising along now. 529 miles left to run. So not bad. Into Manchester. Its waypoint is DLE. Where's that? Line. How does that work? OSN is Osnabrück. I already know that. Yep. Okay. Nice, so just keep this in 80 nautical mile range. We'll just... Well, we can just chill out now because there's no ATCs. We should be getting some ATC down in Manchester. Keep our fingers crossed. In about 25 minutes, some ATC should be logging on down there for a mentoring session. Don't know which position that is. It just says mentoring, and then it says the position is Manchester_SBAT. I don't know what SBAT is. It isn't. It's app for approach, TWR for tower. So I don't know what SBAT is. That's just the position they booked it as, so it's probably something different. It might be. I'm guessing it's going to be approach or tower probably, because there isn't really a mentoring for ground, because ground is the first rank that you get. So it's probably going to be either. But also there's tower logged on from 10 until 11, and they're booked for 9 until 10:30. So it's probably approach. Because it can't be tower because they're booked on. It can't be ground because so it's probably approach. So hopefully we'll get some approach control. We'll find out in about 23 minutes from now what's actually going on. So we'll see. Getting a nice little bit of a tailwind right now, at 20 knot tailwind, not bad. So the flight's planning on taking an hour and 40 minutes. We should have about an hour and 19 left. We have an hour and 17 left, so we're actually 2 minutes early. So that's looking quite good actually. We've got a plane there on the same altitude as us. Very close. That's Lufthansa H20. They haven't got a flight plan, so I don't know where they're going. Unfortunately, I can't tell what on earth they're doing, but I don't even know what plane type they are. However, there is a plane just behind them. Lufthansa 816 heading down to Gothenburg, so they're probably doing the same thing. No, so even if they don't have a flight plan, they're at 38,000 as well. So where are they? They've got no contrail. Oh, there they are. They're so far away I can barely see their contrail, so I think we'll be alright. Oh, they are heading directly quite close to us, aren't they? Oh, there you go. They're heading away from us. Look, they're heading sort of diagonal. So I think we'll just miss each other. Yeah, they're heading that way, look. There they are. They're alright. They're heading behind us, so we're safe. Can't even see them now, anyway. They passed behind us, we're alright. I didn't even know what they're doing because they haven't got a flight plan file, but there you go. Right, next waypoint is Robeg. Descending in about 43 minutes. Nice. We've actually covered a decent amount of distance. We've already covered 160 miles, so not bad. 162 miles now, and we've been off blocks for half an hour, so not bad at all, honestly. Just so heading around actually, so it's accurate. You know what? There's no need to get ready for arrival. We'll do that about 15 minutes before landing. 10,000 foot runway down in Manchester. I'll just check what stands are used by Fly UK. So they use stands 4 to 11 for European mainstream. So 4 to 11. Okay, let's have a little look at that then. 4 to 11. Yep. Okay, so that's basically pier number. Where's pier B? Yeah, all of pier B basically at Manchester. So we're going to come in, vacate on, I should imagine Papa, probably. and then come off Papa, it'll be down Lima, and then just anywhere from stands 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10. We'll probably take stand 12 as well. Maybe it's outdated and stand 12 isn't included. I think stand 8 is what's included in the UK 2000 free scenery for Manchester. So it'll probably be stand 8 or something like that we take. We'll just see what happens. We'll wait and see what happens with the ATC as well. They might decide to swap runways or whatever. We'll wait and see what happens. So it would be nice to have ATC because it would help us a lot. They wouldn't be able to really fix the initial part of the start because that's sort of out of their airspace, but they'll be able to sort of fix what's going on after that. And the reason for the restrictions is so ATC can move you about and vet you. The restrictions are unreasonable if you do the full start, but if you don't do the full start, you just get vectors, which is probably what we're going to get given. It's okay. We'll see what runway they end up using down there in Manchester as well right now. Right now, the winds are still 350 at 4 knots. Clouds are scattered 1700, broken 2300, broken 2700. So there's 3 different layers of cloud, 2 of which are quite full. So we have got quite a lot of cloud around the 2,000 to 3,000 feet mark. But under 1,500 feet, we should be totally clear. I always do believe 200 feet. Like I did another flight from Santiago to Buenos Aires, probably 2 days ago now, I think, and the weather was overcast 800. At 600 feet, I still couldn't see the runway, so it's kind of, you got to take it with a little bit of, but then I broke out after that, so it's kind of, normally adds 200 or 300 feet, and then that's normally what's accurate. That's what you actually see. The weather's not quite that bad down in Manchester. It's a little bit low, but it's not quite that bad, so we're all right. I like the look of the 737. It's a really nice looking plane. Of course, I mean, it's quite slow, the 737, if you compare it to like the 777 and things, and the 787. That's what I've been flying recently. I've been flying a lot of the 777. I also flew the 787 a couple of days ago as well. But I thought I might as well stream on a Saturday morning. It's quite nice. Obviously, the content on my channel has been a lot more limited recently. 1, I've had a bit less time. 2, well, the new flight sim has kind of died off now. There's not a lot of stuff to do with it, to be honest. I mean, the bush flying still seems to be a bit broken. I'm not sure whether they've fixed that. There still seems to be a few bugs surrounding it, and so I can't really continue that series. And then overall, it's just a little bit annoying to play, really. To be honest, after that stream, I just kind of, with the new flights, and after that stream, I basically just kind of gave up on it. I was like, no, just forget it. Because it was annoying, really. We're just about to cross the border into the Netherlands in about 80 miles. Actually, about 60 miles from now, we'll be crossing over into the Netherlands. So we've crossed the whole of Germany quite quickly, actually. And then we've got the Netherlands, then we've got the North Sea, and then it's over the north of the UK, then into Manchester. I could have also gone to Heathrow with this plane as well, but I thought Manchester would be a good idea. I'm not so sure about that now. But I didn't know about the stupid arrival procedures. I rarely arrive into Manchester, to be honest. And every time I have, it's actually been with ATC, so, you know, it's kind of how it is, I guess. We'll see what's going on, I guess. Looking nice out there, it's cruising along. No weather update, I don't think. No, next weather update will actually be... It seems like this guy is being very slow to update. The last weather was an hour ago. And the weather reports are half hourly at Manchester, so... I'll just check windy.com, because they often have... Also, they have Metars on their one as well. See if they're doing them. See if they're doing it. It might only be hourly, it depends. So, yeah, they've got a Metar from 26 minutes ago. And it has changed a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there with Active Sky. It's taking... Oh, there you go. The new weather's come through now. Half hour late. It's 0... So, variable at 3 knots of the winds. QNH ones with 240. It's now overcast at 3,000. And the bottom layer of clouds is 1900, however it's only few, so really we should break out the full lot of clouds just above 2,000 feet. So it's very cloudy down there, but luckily they're staying fairly high up, so we're alright. Now in about 15 minutes we should get some ATC logging on down in Manchester. We'll see what's going on with that. There's a plane just there, that suddenly just spawned in. Oh yeah, because we're less than 40 miles away from it, that's why. Zooming towards us, it's 1,000 feet above us, it's KLM 1385, so 777 heading to Kiev at 39,000 feet, so we're safe. It's going to be 39,000 feet the whole way then. Nice little flight, I guess. About 2.5 hour flight. So it'll pass just above us, basically, that's quite cool. We'll keep watch for that. However, it is actually about 20 miles away from us, so it's off to the left by about 10 miles too. So they're in 20-mile range. Look, you can't see it. In 40-mile range, it is quite far away from us. So no, it's actually it's about 10 miles away from us. So we're not quite that close to it, but we'll probably see it zip past maybe. Off to the left, and I think also in about 10 minutes time it'll be time to start looking, actually probably about 20 minutes time we'll start looking at our arrival into Manchester and getting everything set for that. Got at the moment 15 knot tailwind, so we're still getting a little bit of a tailwind. It's quite nice. It hasn't been that popular this today. It's very, very busy last week. Oh well. Oh well. Well, that's that, I guess, isn't it? Right click by accident then. Close. Right, the plane's just passing by us. There it is. Yeah, it's too far away from us for the draw distance to properly load it in, unfortunately. If it was like 10 miles closer, we would have seen it perfectly. There it is, look. You can just see it. It's a little bit far away, but there we go. We've got it. Right, in about 11 minutes, we should discover what's going on down at Manchester. In terms of ATC, so it's closing in that time. I love the crystal livery on this 737. It works really well. Also, on my old PC, I haven't downloaded it yet. I kept forgetting, but I'm glad. Obviously, on this PC, I had to install the crystal livery because it's the only livery I have. Actually, I did have the old one as well. I just installed the new one, but yeah, it's a really nice livery. Gotta say, I don't know whether I prefer it to the new Union Spirit. I'm glad I still get to see the new Union Spirit livery on the cargo planes because they still have it, so it's not the worst. But yeah, doing alright at the moment. lots of waypoints here in the space of like 3 miles. Don't know what that is. But there you go. And we're actually crossing into the Netherlands now, about 15 miles, so that's pretty nice. So we've done all of Germany in like 35 minutes. It hasn't taken us long, has it? Because Berlin's right on the other side of Germany. It's quite close to Poland, so we've basically done the entirety of Germany. There. And yeah, Netherlands, North Sea, and then north of the UK. And then descending down into Manchester. Hopefully we'll have some ATC down in Manchester in about 9 minutes. We should discover if that mentor is 1, logging on, having a mentoring session, and 2, what position they're doing. Now, I doubt it's tower because of the booking times, and I doubt it's ground because it's a mentoring session, so it's probably approach. It'd be nice if it was approach. All we'd need after that is London North. London North I've actually been on the last couple of days in the mornings, just not today. So that's quite funny, I guess, isn't it? As soon as we need London North and all of that, we don't have any. We had some nice control down in Berlin though, so I'm not complaining. Actually, Berlin Tegel Tower's online now as well, so they've literally just logged on this second. So quite nice, really. There's quite a bit of ATC down there. So it's nice we had some ATC today. I'm not, it's nice to have some at least, isn't it? But as long as we have some. Right, okay. The border for the Netherlands is just coming up now, because that's RKN, that is the border to the Netherlands. Actually, no, mind, this waypoint was, Tivo was the border to the Netherlands, so that's cool. And now I turn in slightly to the right now. Right, no, that's going to make us go slower, unfortunately. There's not much wind anyway up here, so we're alright. But it'll make it so we get basically just a crosswind now. On average today, we are actually, well, I don't believe that. On average, we have a headwind of 12 knots. We haven't had a headwind all flight. That's not true. I don't even think we're going to have a headwind now. I think it's going to be I think it's actually going to be an exact crosswind. Actually, it's still a tailwind, but 3-knot tailwind. So the winds are a bit long then. Unless the wind direction suddenly changes. Yeah, we've got a 2-knot tailwind still, look. It's a very small tailwind, but it's a tailwind. Right, 386 miles to go to Manchester. We are descending in 28 minutes. Okay, not far then. We'll do our descent stuff in about 10 minutes time probably. That's when we'll have a look at all the descent stuff, make sure it's all correct, got our landing speeds and all that sort of stuff in there. And in about 6 minutes we should discover ATC down in Manchester as well. See what's going on with that. That's obviously if they have booked on for 10 o'clock. No, 9 o'clock Zulu, sorry, so 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock my time. Obviously, the UK will be in Zulu time in about a week, so that'll be interesting. I've gone half a year with Zulu being an hour behind us, and then suddenly it'll be Zulu time, obviously, because we've got, like, different time zones and all that. I think it's 25th of October, we change, something like that. We have new time zones. Woohoo. Currently 2 planes down on the ground in Manchester. Got a British Airways and a Swiss. And there's a Metro Air at Leeds Bradford. Just taken off. It's doing the Leeds to Boston in an A319. I'm going to try that sometime. It's quite cool. because Fly UK, it's one of Fly UK's code-share routes by Metro Air, so Metro Air members and Fly UK members can both do it. I think it's a Fly UK member though, because they're from the UK. But yeah, quite cool. I'm just sitting here waiting for London control and things. I don't think there was any London control scheduled. However, obviously, as I said, they don't often stick to the schedules anyway. So even the fact that it said there was going to be ATC at this certain time, it's generally quite unlikely even then. So just depends really on what we get. So yeah, there's no London control booked for all day, which I don't really believe actually. That's a bit odd. But yeah, we'll see what happens really. I'm also just looking. I think there might be an event on next week. There was a bit going on, I think. I don't know, I saw something booked there on Vatsim UK. I don't see anything there. It was like last to New York or something. But there's nothing there, so nah. They are doing a Dubai event next week though, so I might take part in that, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, I guess. Anyway, that aside, it's now just 2 minutes until someone in Manchester will log on. No one's logged on yet, though. Or I'm not in range of them, that's the thing. I might not be in range of them. I'll have to wait for something else to happen. Yeah, so they're doing Vienna to Dubai next week. I might do that. I don't know. So I may do that, we'll have to see. Right, okay, I think... I don't know, Manchester should be coming online any minute now. I mean, sometimes they come online early. I'm currently in range of Heathrow. So if I go direct, I'm 284 miles away from Manchester, so I don't think I'm in range of their ATC. So if they come online, I'll see it via... what do you call it? Oh, anyway, there is another plane heading in from Manchester. They were disconnected earlier from Orlando. So they weren't connected earlier because they're going to be there 20 minutes before us. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, my ETA is totally wrong because I'm taking a stupid route into Manchester. But we'll see what happens there then with the controllers. It's now 10 o'clock, so they should be logging on. So I'll wait and see what happens with to see what happens with what am I on about? I don't know what I'm talking about. See what happens with the controllers. So you might be, I mean, at the moment it doesn't look like anyone's logged on. However, as I said, I'm 275 miles. I think you need to be within 250 miles at least of an aerodrome before you start picking up ATC frequency. So I'll be able to rely on VatSpy for that. But that update, when VatSpy updates, it's about 2 or 3 minutes behind the real world. So we'll have to wait another 2 or 3 minutes. Well, we're actually just about to leave the Netherlands and head over the North Sea. So yeah, it's going quite quick really. We're 21 minutes away from descending. So we'll do our descent checklist about 10 minutes before. So in about 10 minutes we'll do our descent checklist. Wow, there's just literally just Heathrow approach online, and there's 10 planes on the ground there. Honestly, even if there's no ATC, Heathrow is always nuts. Just goes insane, it does. It's mad. Right, next way to put it is Ravlo. Right, it is now. Well, actually, now there you go. So, okay, it's 9:02 on the VatSpy update, and no ATC as of yet. So, again, that might be wrong then. The training calendar, and then in an hour there will be Manchester Tower has been booked, but again, Manchester Tower may not get booked either. May not get filled, and also because it's in an hour, I'm actually just gonna get. I think I'm just gonna get kicked out of it, unfortunately. No, not you know what? So as in, I'm landing at like 5 to 10, and it comes online at 10 Zulu time, so it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, we'll see what happens with it, I guess. It was confirmed only 3 days ago, so the fact it's only been 3 days kind of suggests, well, it probably hasn't been cancelled. I guess we'll just see what happens, I guess, won't we? We'll just, if they're on when we get there, they're online. If they're not, they're not. Not only that as well, considering it's actually, it says underscore SBAT, maybe it's a different position that's like unknown, and it isn't a controller position, it's just being listed on there anyway. Kind of depends. Because it is on there as a mentoring session, not position booking, actually, so it might not be relevant. We'll see what happens with it, I guess. If we get ATC, happy days. If we don't, oh well. Right, about 7 minutes time, we'll do a little descent briefing. We've got a bit of an odd arrival into Manchester. Obviously, if there's no ATC, I may just go direct to the ILS, to be honest. I can't really do that because that provides a stupid angle onto the ILS anyway. If I was to do that now, I'd probably have to go direct to the ILS now to get a decent angle onto it. So, yeah. So in real life, I'd probably get vectors, but not going to happen. So, oh well. The plane to Zurich and Manchester's just departed. So there's only one plane on the ground down there now. And it's a British Airways headed down to Heathrow. Just wait for a bit then. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the little outside shots. No ATC at Manchester then, so it's not looking like we were in luck then. Actually, never mind. Manchester ground literally just came online, so it's looking like it's going to be a ground, unfortunately. I don't think it's actually the mentor person, I think it's something totally separate. But there we go, so they're going to have an ATIS going at least. So that's kind of a benefit. I think they're gonna have an ATIS hopefully set up. So we're gonna have some ATC there. It's ground, so it doesn't really mean anything. But I don't think it's the person who booked the session though. I'll have a look, but I don't think it is the person who booked the mentoring session. Because you can just check. If I click on it now, yeah, it's a different person. It's not the person who signed on, so they're just there out of randomness, not booking. So whatever the booking was, it's not relevant, I guess. But good to see. Actually, they just come offline again. They were online for literally a second, and now their little thing has gone off underground. I might have gone out of range of. Oh no, they're back on now. Yeah, they must have just disconnected for like 5 seconds, or went out of their airspace. Also put, no, they did disconnect from that spy now, but they're back online now anyway. Same person, they just basically disconnected, connected basically. So hopefully we'll get any luck with that. Unfortunately, the area of Germany where we were, Bremen, their control has just come online. So if we were a little bit later, like an hour later, we would have had ATC throughout Germany. I guess that's a little bit over the top, really. I mean, an hour early is quite a bit, isn't it? So I guess we can't really complain about that. If it's like 10 minutes, if it's like 5 minutes, that's the more annoying one. Right, since it's only about, they go just under 100 miles until our descent, so I think it's time we have a look at what we're doing. So we need to be at 3,000 feet for the ILS. Yeah, looking good. And landing speed, I think we're doing the flaps 30 arrival, because the flaps 40 speed's a little bit low now, 132 knots. So we'll do flaps 30 arrival. ILS is 109.5. Get that pre-tuned in there. 109 and course is 052. Check that with the plane. Yep, 052. And minimums finally for Cat 1 approach is 412. So there. And there we go, that is it actually, that's literally it. It's not a lot to do, is it, to be honest? Oh yeah, and auto brakes. So auto brakes are probably going to be 2. It's what I like to set on the Boeing. Just check the descent checklist. So landing altitude. Oh yeah, we'll do our landing altitude as well, which is 257, so 250. Anti-ice, don't need it. Approach briefing, which is all that other stuff there, done. And we have set our all that stuff. Approach, don't need to do anything for that. Just the altimeters need setting really, and that'll be done later on. So great, we are all good and ready. Initial descent is going to be flight level 290. And there we go. And we've still got a tailwind. We haven't had a headwind at any point today. So, yeah. And Gatwick Ground are online, and the ATIS is now also set up, which is good. Just grab the ATIS quickly. Oh, there's nothing there at the moment. I'll just check it now, actually. There you go, there is now an ATIS. It's Information Whiskey. Runway in use 05 left. Transition level 60, which is what we've got plugged in already. Connect 024. Temperature 9, nothing really interesting there then. So we know 05 left is the runway in use. That's fine. And we are going to have some ATC down there. And they're going to be on. ATC is going to be on 12185. So get that pre-tuned, I guess, so it's ready for when we land. We might get some more ATC by then, I don't know. Wait to see what happens, I guess. As we cruise closer and closer towards Manchester. Very cloudy today, isn't it, really? Haven't seen much of the world. Just seen cloud all day, pretty much. But there we go, never mind. I hope they changed the procedures at Manchester. It's quite annoying. They haven't changed them for ages. They haven't actually had a Navigraph update down. They haven't had a nav database update over in Manchester since like February 2019. So maybe the procedures need redoing. That's what we'll hope anyway. But at the moment it's just ground online. It would be nice to have a little bit more, but... And we are now... actually, we're not quite... I think we're just about to enter their airspace, so we'll see what happens. London's airspace, that is. So if London North come online, I think we enter their airspace at, like, Supal, maybe? I'll have a little look on SimBrief. I think it's somewhere around Supal. We enter their airspace, maybe Aptos. I can't see it on there, on my little chart, but my chart might be out of date, you know, it hasn't updated for... Actually, no, I went to their airspace at Ravlo, so we're already in their airspace if they were to come online. Yeah, it extends a bit further out than I thought, yeah, so Ravlo, and we're in London North's sector, so we're in London North sector now until Manchester, so if they come online, that's good. However, they're not online right now anyway, so I don't think they are going to be either. Hello in the chat, hope you are enjoying the stream. we are going to be descending actually towards Manchester in about 7 minutes. ETA about 40 minutes from there. Oh, hello as well. 2 people in the chat. That's nice. At once as well. What are the chances? So yes, about 40 minutes until Berlin. No, but we took off from Berlin until Manchester. Got a little bit of that's a ground ATC on right now down in Manchester. We'll see what happens with the rest of it, I guess. Hopefully we'll get a bit more ATC, but you know, obviously we had some down in Berlin as well, so quite nice. Now this is FSX. I don't have X-Plane. I wouldn't have minded getting X-Plane. I was considering it because the new flight sim's quite bad. So, but at the moment, I just thought, because obviously they have the Zero mod, which is the 3737, so it wouldn't be too expensive to get. But I think I am going to stick with FSX really, because I haven't had any issues with it. But yeah, FSX is what this is. It is in the title of the video. I believe it's also as the it should also be as the game. If you look in the description lower down, YouTube will tell you what game this is. So yeah, it's a bit of an old game. It's like 14 years old, but you know, it's worth it. And because of the city restrictions down in Manchester of altitude, we are actually descending quite soon. So just 40 miles until our descent. And we have got an ATIS down in Manchester, obviously, because ground is online down there. We know we're using the correct runway, so it's always useful as an ATIS. It'd be nice. I always think it'd be nice if Vatsim made its own ATIS. Also, it'd be a good day to cross the Atlantic right now. You've got Gander Oceanic and Shanwick Oceanic as well. Both of them are online, so it's quite a nice day for crossing the Atlantic. Also, I've done one transatlantic flight. I got no ATC transatlantic. It's a shame, but I might do it again. It was quite fun actually, transatlantic. It's quite interesting. Yeah. There's 2 little pilots in there. They are actually, I don't know why they're animated to constantly press stuff, but they are. It's kind of silly that they are really, because that movement looked like he was turning on the landing lights. I mean, yeah. No. He's sighing then. It looked like he was like wiping his brow and going, oh, like that. Because there isn't really a button up there, unless he's turning on and off the lights, which he shouldn't be. There's no one even there if you look from this perspective. It's quite funny, really. But they've molded them to do that, I think. It's quite nice at the moment. We've got, well, we're descending actually about 20 miles from now, so very soon. What, running out of fuel? There's actually a challenge like that in FSX. It's a mission. I've actually done it before. It's using the default 737. But you sort of fly along. I think you have an engine problem, like one of your engines shuts down, and then just as you start descending for a second airport, an alternate airport, another engine fails and you have to like glide it into the airport. It's really cool. I didn't actually succeed. Because a couple of months back I sort of had a go at some of the FSX missions. A lot of them are actually pretty unplayable, to be honest. They get like stuck and you have to hit certain things and they're not very obvious. They're badly done missions, but that one was quite good. There's another mission as well where you do a flight from Amsterdam to London, but you just have to take off as like a medical emergency. And it's very thick weather and things. It's really fun. However, it is just a bit of a shame that there aren't more of them. Really, they have built-in checklists and things and all sorts. They're quite good. However, they don't. It's just a shame they use the default. Yeah, I have Discord. I don't generally use Discord. You know, my channel itself doesn't have a server either. I actually use Discord for Roblox mainly, but the channel itself doesn't have a Discord, so maybe we could set up a Maggi Discord server, but I doubt it'll be particularly interesting. There's like 120 subs, so it wouldn't be particularly busy, would it? Well, I think we're going on a descent point. Yes, we are. 7 miles. Not far then. I've also got to remember we're not doing a flaps full landing. We're doing flaps 30 because we're not very heavy, so our landing speeds are quite low. Oh wow. Yeah. That's not great, is it? Anyway. Right, winds are still pretty calm down in Manchester. It's overcast at 2,800. After that, we've basically got no more cloud to worry about. Right, time to descend. We're descending a little bit early, I know. That's thanks to some restrictions on the arrival. And after that, we've got to do some stupid little loop. Sort of like a holding pattern loop almost. I'm tempted not to do that. You know what, I think I am just going to go direct from Pole to Rosen. There, that's better. It's not going to change our descent path for now because of the restrictions, so... No, okay. So because of this restriction, actually, because of what I'm doing, we might end up... Actually, no, I think we'll be alright. So we're descending 150 miles early instead of 170 miles early. And then we'll delete the speed restriction at Pole because we're already under 10,000 feet, so it will already comply with it itself. Right, down we go then, dear. I just think I'll be going to Manchester. That's where we are flying at the moment. Just descending now, actually. I have saved ourselves a bit of a couple of minutes by skipping out the stupid like holding pattern like thing that happens on the arrival of this flight. I don't know why, but I saved like 20 miles doing that, so it's worth it because there are a few weird procedures at Manchester that kind of, in real life, would probably be vectored to the ILS, which is sort of what, by deleting the loop is sort of what I'm doing almost, but yeah, oh well. Yeah, we need to be at flight level 290, and then after that it's 170, so we'll just drop down the altitude a little bit more. Manchester itself is quite quiet. There's currently no planes heading there. There's actually one from Atlanta, actually. These planes from the US, they just keep connecting to the Vatsim network after they cross over the ocean, so they're actually quite close to... so they're coming in at about 10 o'clock Zulu if they're going direct. No, they're probably not going to be close to us. They're still 300 miles away from Manchester, so they're probably not going to be close to us. Got Manchester to ourselves, basically, then, when we land. Apart from there's currently 2 planes on the ground. There is a Thomas Cook heading down to Cancun, down in, or Cancun, I don't know how you pronounce it, down in Mexico. I don't know, actually, is it the Caribbean? It's a holiday island of some sort. And there's also a Jet 2 heading down to Innsbruck. It's nice to see a Thomas Cook as well. It's one thing I really like. Oh, that's pretty good, actually, yeah. There's not many 737-200s about now, is there? Apart from Northern Canada, I don't think there are any others, unfortunately. Yeah, I like that about Vatsim. You can see like airlines that aren't around anymore, and they're still on the network. Like if I look, I doubt there's any Fly Bs on the network, no. But there's probably a Thomas Cook. You know, I mean, there's probably more. Is there more than one Thomas Cook? Yeah, there's actually 3 Thomas Cooks right now. I think Thomas Cook would actually be 4. There we go. A bit of a steeper descent now, look, because we've got to be at flight level 170 by this next waypoint. But I think Thomas Cook have actually reformed, but not as an airline. I think they're just a travel agent again. They're not any kind of special... They're not doing flights, I don't think. Yeah. It's an online-only travel company. So they are still a thing. Now. It's pretty cool, really. I've never been on Qantas. I've been on Ryanair. Ryanair are alright, really, to be honest. I mean, for the prices, it doesn't really. It's like a bus, you know. There's also a Tomjet TUI on the ground as well, down in Manchester. There's quite a few planes then departing. It's probably because there's some ATC online. Hopefully the tower controller that was booked to come online in half hour comes online early. It does happen quite frequently, that, so maybe. But whatever happens, it's looking like we're going to have some ATC at least. Well, how far are we now? 115 miles to Manchester. So we are a little bit low, really, for how far it is to go. But that's kind of bad, isn't it? I guess, isn't it? Oh well. And we'll be at 7,000 at Rolston. So we'll set that as our next altitude restriction. We've got quite a nice tailwind though, still, like 20 knot tailwind. That's kind of nice. Absolutely pretty fast speed, still while we're descending. Right, let's have a quick look at the turn onto the ILS. It is quite a steep turn. I might rethink what I'm doing. No, it's alright. Luckily this plane does actually put in arcs and things, look, so it knows that it can sort of arc onto the ILS to make it less of a steep turn. I don't know, it's steeper than I probably would have wanted, but it's alright. We'll go 40 nautical mile range now, as we close into Manchester. So yeah, we are a little bit low for the distance to Manchester, but we're doing alright. There's nothing else really to skip out either. We could, we could go direct to the ILS from here, but that puts us well, probably quite high up and still at a bit of a funny angle, so we may as well go all the way around now. It's not really affecting us by going all the way around now too much. We're only going about 40 miles further. We don't need auto brakes 3. It's a 10,000 foot runway. I mean, to be honest, I think auto brakes 1 could be enough. But yeah, 2 is normally what I like to use in a 737. But yeah, for a 10,000 foot runway, 1 would probably be okay. I don't think I've ever really had to use 3, to be honest. It's quite rare that I have to use 3. I had to use the I was doing a flight with FSX Virtual, who allow you to just fly whatever plane to wherever route they do. So I flew into quite a small airport with 777. So I used auto brakes. I think it's 4 in the 777. It's the maximum setting that isn't max. But no, all brakes 2 will be easy enough. Wow, 4 planes on the ground in Manchester departing. It's a lot of planes. Right, just passing 19,000 feet. Well, we'll preset the Q&H as well, 1024. So, quite a difference actually in pressure from Standards to Manchester. So, the altitude that we're at might change a little bit. Transition level is 6,000, I believe. Still, if the 80s is the same as it was earlier. Just check the 80s again now. So we'll just check the up-to-date 80s. It is Information Whiskey, so still the same thing. Yeah, all brakes 2, I think it should be enough. What with reverses as well. Right, just about past flight level 170, bang on time at goals. So our descent path may get quite small now, like quite relaxed, because obviously we've had 2 restrictions and now we haven't got another one for a little bit. Max, I don't know, I think Max might be used maybe if the reverses and things aren't working. I don't really know. Or if it is like a stupidly, I guess if you had to like divert or something, and there was a stupidly short runway, I guess Max could be useful. I don't know, it must have auto brake max for some reason, but who knows. Yeah, but we're actually sending it at a fairly alright speed, but I think seatbelt signs can come on. Everyone back there, sit down. No ATT at the moment. I'm watching to see if Tegel will come online, but I don't think they are going to. Currently 5 planes on the ground down in Manchester, so it's fairly busy. And then now it's 3 because 2 of them disconnected. Oh, who knows? I don't know. I know reverse thrust definitely slows down the plane. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it must just be if there's a really short runway then. Oh, a bit of turbulence there, I think. Quite light. Still got a very nice tailwind. 20 knots still. A 20 knot tailwind at this altitude is actually pretty decent. Like, normally the wind starts to really die down at this altitude, so it's quite nice. We'll keep 40-mile range because of the gap between Walton and the ILS later on. Yeah, we're clear down to 7,000 at the moment by Walton. And then it'll be 3,000 after Walton. So we'll just set 3,000 now. We'll also activate the ILS frequency on 109.5. Yeah. And 052, so we should pick that up a bit later on. Yeah, that's what I thought possibly. Don't know. But hopefully ground stays online. I think they'll probably be online for at least an hour, so we should be alright. They've only been online. Alright, don't worry, that's just a plane spawning in at Manchester. It only happens with the 737, but whenever a plane spawns in nearby, I get a traffic alert until it works out what altitude. I think it's so dumb though, because the plane is at Manchester, so no matter what altitude it was at, it's not traffic. It isn't an issue. Like, it's 20 miles away. What's the problem? But yeah, who knows? We'll just ignore that. Anyway, well, it's time to slow down actually. For 10,000 feet, the plane should start to slow down itself really. We shouldn't need to do much. But if it doesn't pitch up, which it isn't at the moment, at about 11,000 feet it should suddenly start to pitch up a little bit more, allowing us to slow down, but if it doesn't do that, we'll just use speed brakes. There's actually a plane just ahead of us. Oh, it's taking off from Leeds, heading down to Perth, Scotland, that is, and Beechcraft B190, so quite an old little plane, I guess, isn't it? Right, 10,000 feet, landing lights, and this thing isn't pitching up, so we'll slow down for it. Don't want to descend too much either. I don't want to get actually because that Beechcraft has a cruising altitude of 9,000. It's going very slowly. So we'll have to try and watch that, because obviously we're going to catch up on it quite quickly, and since I am going within 9,000, we'll have to just see what happens with it. I mean, it's slow planes like the Beechcraft B190 wide, it's a rule that you have to be below 250 knots at 10,000, to stop you getting in the way of smaller planes like that, and catching up with them way too quickly. I mean, a Beechcraft isn't even the slowest of planes, but you know, some planes go an awful lot slower. But we're alright. Actually, it's a good job I didn't do that loop now. If I'd done that loop, I would have been in that loop at 9,000, and I would have been way too close to the Beechcraft. So it's actually a good job I skipped out a bit at the start, I guess, in the end. Now, can I go direct to the ILS, and that'll get me a better angle? Nope, it won't. Okay. We'll just stick with what we're doing right now, then. Right, only 47 miles to go then. About 10 minutes, is it? 12 minutes. Yeah, this last bit of the flight is always quite slow. Always feels like it takes the longest. There you go. Right, we'll just check what gates we have access to in Manchester as well. Oh, we're not close enough. Oh, we are. Great. Because I want to check what stands we can use for Fly UK. So, we can accept stands 1, 2, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 12. Because UK 2000 scenery miss out a few stands. Because it's free scenery, so a few of the stands just don't exist, unfortunately. So we'll just, I'd rather obviously request a gate that I actually have access to. So that's alright. So we just need to make sure, yeah, we'll probably take stand 6 or stand 8, I think. We'll probably, let's request stand 8 and then see what happens. He might tell us to go somewhere else, they sometimes do that, so we'll have to wait and see what we get, I guess, as well. Plane seems alright. There we go. I'm going to turn to the left then, and then it's just kind of quite straightforward. I think we're actually going to vector ourselves, so from here we'll go heading select, and 240 I guess, because that's the, no 230, that's the opposite of runway heading. So the opposite runway heading is 232, so we're not going to quite go 232, we're going to go 225, and then, so basically doing the job of ATC. Yeah, we're on the descent already, I know. It's been it's a little bit of a shorter flight, but yeah, closing on Manchester. We're just doing a bit of a sort of vectoring ourselves into Manchester right now. So good. Alright, well actually we can deploy flaps 1 actually. Yeah, we're not going to bother yet. But you know what we are, because the thing is, the benefit of going flaps 1 is that it's basically just less to move later on. We're basically just going to descend quite slowly, vectoring ourselves in with a slightly less arc than what we would have had anyway. It's basically the plan. Because I don't want too much of an arc onto the ILS, otherwise it just becomes annoying at that point. I think it's going to take us 7 minutes to get to the ILS, and maybe it could, I guess, I don't know. It's quite a while. And there's transition altitude, so QNH 1024, and that certainly puts us a bit higher up again. And then we want to be about 170 knots, roughly, for the first bit of the arrival, I think. We'll check now. So the first waypoint is at 10 DME from the airport, 10 miles. Hello. Hey guys, it's a moderator in the chat. Be good. Anyway, yeah. I know, yeah, I know I'm not saying too much, it's fine. Actually, you're right, it's turned to about a heading of 200, and we should be able to just get ourselves directly onto the ILS now. I was just doing it all manually. 4 planes on the ground right now down in Manchester. So we'll have a little bit of ground ATC when we get down there as well, which is nice. I think we can arm the speed brakes now. We're not really needing them right now, are we? We might need them a bit later on. We'll start to slow down now as well. Just a little bit. And then we'll just keep on this heading for a little bit, and then we should be able to start to I should be able to start to get myself onto the ILS from there. From about there on this heading. Don't want to go too far off course, obviously. So right, if I do that now, look, there you go, that's actually quite a suitable turn, so we'll go on to LNAV mode now, and we'll go back on to VNAV mode as well. Actually, we'll keep doing our own speed. We'll go VNAV with a speed intervention, so we'll do about 210, because I'm happy with this. And the plane should just follow all this. Whoa, yep, we're into that thick cloud that we saw earlier. Right, flaps 3. No, wait, no, not 3, 5. It goes 1, 2, then 5. Yeah, very, very thick cloud, actually. So we should break out of it at about 3,300 feet. We should break out of this really thick cloud, hopefully. So we've only got a couple of thousand feet in it. Right, let's turn us down to 10 nautical mile range now.
Traffic is if you expect a little pass over and then there's a chase to Delta ILS 33.
Oh, that reminds me actually, I should be reporting on Gatwick traffic. Manchester traffic, I mean.
From Tango,
oh, it's in the middle because it's locked.
Runway 05 there.
In the 737 it can stay locked, so you have down, up, and then off. I don't know why, but in the 737 you have to lock it. That's about it really, yeah. You don't have to do it in any of the other planes that fly, just the 737. It's the only one way you lock it. Right, let's set the heading to runway heading then. And, well, when we're about 3 miles away from the ILS, we'll be able to activate it. We'll go about 190 knots now. We're allowed to go up to flaps 10 without the plane shouting at us, I think, yep. For not having our gear down, so that's good. And yeah, it doesn't look like it needs speed brakes. The plane's slowing down on its own right now. Go all the way to 180 knots. And then flaps 10. And then we're a little bit closer. I can set everything else up. Right, I think we're going to arm the approach now, so we can actually see what's going on. Obviously, I know it looks far away. It's actually only 5 miles. And then the glide slope should start at 8.6 miles out, about at FF05 left. It should start, and that's where the glide slope should start and bring us down into Manchester. I do love the 737. The PMDG in particular is very good. Yeah, it's probably one of the best. It's quite simple because it's one of their first planes. Like in comparison to the 777, it's still very detailed. I know they've done a more detailed version now for P3D, but it's not available for FSX. It's called the NGXU in comparison to just the NGX. Right, nothing's approaching Manchester, but we'll say it on the traffic anyway because we'll have things taking off. Manchester traffic, Skyways 845, established 05 left, 10 miles out. Manchester traffic. So there you go, we're just basically saying that we are 10 miles out. There you go, we've just picked up the ILS localizer there. So we'll drop ourselves to 160 knots now, and we'll do that until 4 miles out. You know, I've never used this Evo, I don't know, I haven't got X-Plane obviously, but I could see it being quite good. We're on the glide slope. Go around altitude here at Manchester is 3,500. Traffic. That's just a plane spawning into Manchester, don't worry about that. It says it a lot. Now we passed 3,300 feet, however, still can't see anything. If you mean the graphics card, I've got a 2060. 2060, just regular 2060 in here. So the 1060 is the one on the other PC. And the 1060 is actually running really well at the moment. It's pretty amazing how well that card runs, considering it's pretty old now, you know. Yeah, this one's the 2060. 6 gig VRAM. It's not the Super, it's just the regular version. Well, there you go. There is the airport just coming into view. 25. Yeah, this one's new actually, this PC. The old one had the 1660 in it, but I upgraded it because I wanted an upgraded processor, and because of how it worked out, I had to get a new one. A new PC, that's just how it worked out. Anyway, right, engine start switches into continuous. And, well, we're only 6 miles out, so down goes the gear. Yeah, look. And no need to contact ground, obviously, they're just sitting there on the ground. We will actually tune ground on 12185. Actually, first of all, we'll just report that we are approaching. Right, 139 is our landing speed, flaps full. Manchester traffic, Skyways 845, 6 miles out, 05 left. Manchester traffic.
Manchester traffic, Channel 988 Uniform Tango clear for new 05 left, climb to 4,200 for right over 350.
Alright, over to Gatwick Manchester ground then, because we know nothing's in our way. That plane is actually no, remember, not flaps full, flaps 30 today. And there we go. Okay. Disengage the autopilot. And disengage the auto throttles. I found is generally the better thing. This thing doesn't go idle. Unlike the 777 and the 787 that go idle when you land, this thing doesn't do that. Really that close? I didn't know. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought. I need to slow down normally. When you're 4 miles away from the airport, that's when you start to slow down. No, it only goes up to 40, the 7.3. But yeah, I've gone 30 knots because the landing speed is very low for 40 knots. It's like 130 knots. I'd rather not be doing 130 knots on final. 140 is kind of a bit better. Oh, we're a little bit high actually. That's just... There's no pappy lights on this scenery, so haven't got that to judge off. That's the thing with some of the UK free sceneries. They're not fully detailed, unfortunately, but because they are just the free versions. If you pay like, I think it's like £15 UK 2000, maybe £12. I don't know. Right, there we go. We're pretty good on now with the speed minimums. Continue. Don't know how smooth this landing is going to be, to be honest.
Kestrel 28, Sync stand 27 with PDC.
Right, idle it, and then we'll just let the speed drop right off.
Thomas boat 283.
So land right on the touchdown zone.
Start approved face south.
Start approved face to the south. Kestrel 2830.
Alright, minus 404, a little bit rough, but to be fair, it didn't look that rough. I don't know. Anyway, slow it down we go.
Tom jet 154.
80 knots.
Start approved face south.
And reverse it in. Let the auto brakes take over now. We might make Papa.
Virgin 127 request push and stop.
Version 127.
No, we haven't made Papa.
Start approved face south.
Papa didn't exist.
Start approved face south. Virgin
oh,
127.
we did. I just didn't see it. There we go. Right, we're going to vacate on Foxtrot then. And there we go. Hello and welcome everybody to Manchester. Stop the clock there. Disarm the auto brakes as well. And we'll just stop here on Foxtrot by the hold short point. Right, I've got the landing lights, taxi lights, APU started, and engine start switches into off. Right, let's go ahead and contact ground. Gatwick ground. Sorry, Manchester ground. Skyways 845 on Foxtrot.
Skyways 845 Manchester ground. Good morning, taxi via Foxtrot. Juliet Foxtrot to stand 9. Good day.
Foxtrot, Juliet Foxtrot, stand 9. Skyways 845. Okay, so we haven't been given one of the stands. Oh, actually, no, stand 9 is in our scenery. So Foxtrot and then Juliet Foxtrot. Okay. Let's look at this then. So Foxtrot, Juliet, Foxtrot. So Foxtrot and then Juliet. Yeah. So down. So this is. So yeah, it's down there. Stand 9er. Wait, Juliet Foxtrot isn't on stand 9er.
KLM 224, readability 3.
Juliet Foxtrot isn't by stand 9. It's Juliet Echo by stand 9. Okay, we'll just ignore that then.
Check.
Yeah, Juliet Foxtrot is by stand 40.
KLM 224,
not stand 9. That's not right. Okay, well we'll go down Juliet Echo anyway. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, no, I went a little bit early because I was going a little bit quickly. It was alright, it's pretty average landing to be honest. But I don't know what that was. We couldn't have gone via Juliet Foxtrot to stand 9, but there we go. I don't think it really matters to be honest. And that KLM's not pushing back, so we haven't got in the way of anything. And there is the Swissport team that are meeting us from, well, to do the ground services. I think the marshal has disappeared behind the building. I don't see a marshaller there, so I guess we'll just have to judge the parking off Ramden. Yeah, I think the marshal is in the middle of the building, so we'll have to, well, yeah. Oh, well, I guess. We'll just judge it off where the carts are, off where all our bags are, and we'll just do it up here.
154 ready for taxi.
We'll just do it here. We'll just park here.
154 taxi.
Don't know how accurate that is. We haven't got a marshaller. He's probably in there.
Charlie.
Oh, I can't zoom in. I can't zoom inside the building. He's probably inside the building. Anyway, right, idle power and make sure APU power's turned on. Engine 1 cut, and engine 2 cut that as well. And there we go. Okay, what we need to do now, we're going to head to FS Actions, ground connections, wheel chocks on, parking brakes off, and ground power on. Get ground power activated, off goes the APU, and off goes the beacon light. Packs can just stay at auto, pro peats need to come off, and fuel pumps need to come off, and deboarding. 135 passengers, it should have remembered that. Doors, we'll get all the cargo doors open straight away. And in the end we were 2 minutes early, so not bad. 2 minutes earlier than planned, so hour and 38 minutes instead of hour and
yes, your flight plan is invalid due to runway we are using. I will send you a reroute now.
And then we go just waiting for the stairs to connect, and then we'll wait for the bus to get here. This is that wait now when you're on a real life plane where all the passengers are standing up when they shouldn't be, and then they can't get off. Right, flight directors right side and left side off. APU off.
Manchester Ground Virgin 127 request taxi.
Electric gens off.
Getting 127
Packs can just stay in auto, doesn't really matter. And there we go. That is us. Yeah, I forgot the hydraulic pumps, they're off now. But there we go.
Taxi November Charlie and hold November Charlie 1 Virgin 127.
And we just need to wait for the bus. I think we're going to open the doors now. And seatbelt signs, that's the wrong one. There we go, seatbelt signs off. And there we go. Can't really view it from this angle because there's a plane in the way and the building. We'll view it from this angle. There we go. That is a nice flight done. Bit of a quiet stream all the way down to Manchester, and then suddenly activity picked up a little bit. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream, of course. And yeah, there might be one next week. However, there is an event going on, so I may be doing that. I have to decide whether I want to do that or not. Like a long event. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe I'm looking for let's look for a shorter event next week. See if there's anything
KLM
we can
124. Oh, correction, KLM 224. Say again.
Have a look. So actually, we'll disconnect from Vatsim now. And 24th of Saturday, 24th. There's nothing much really going on. Really in the morning, so doesn't look like we've got anything to go on. We'll see later on in the week. But anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed today's streams. Go ahead and finish recording on Fly UK as well. Flew 650 miles in the end, so not bad at all. We had a little bit of ATC in both airports, nothing in between, but you know, not too bad really for a Saturday morning when a lot of people are in bed at this time of the morning, really. So the Vatsim doesn't really get busy until later on in the day. But there we go. I hope everyone really enjoyed this stream, and I will see you in the next one. And that'll probably be one of the last times we see Berlin Tegel Airport. Obviously, it's closing on November the 8th to make way on October the 30th for the brand new Berlin Brandenburg Airport that has been long delayed. It's 9 years on the dot late. And they started making it 14 years ago, so there we go. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this stream, and I will see you in the next one. Leave you with the background music and the end screen. Bye-bye!